Greetings, administrators. This is Alex Justo, and I'm here to talk about Chromebooks for education and their use in the classroom and how they can benefit the school at large, as well as our student body. And I thought we would start this presentation off with a quote from Steve Jobs, who said, "Let's go invent tomorrow instead of worrying about what happened yesterday." And I believe that statement is very important. And with regards to education, one of the worst things that can happen is when teachers and administration become stagnant. They stop growing and evolving, and they just really hide behind that phrase of, well, this is the way we've always done it, and we've had success in the past, so that's the way we're always going to continue to do it. Okay, just because we've had past success does not mean we're going to continue to be successful into the future, and that is why we need to continue to adapt. Now, it's a little bit ironic that I went with Steve Jobs for a quote because I'm actually going to go with his competition for what I think can help us at large with our school, and that's the Chromebooks for Education program that Google currently has. Now, the program is within our school's budget. The Chromebooks are affordable, and with regards to tech support and things like that, you can contact Google representatives and they'll help get you started with the whole process. Now, the nice thing about these is that it's going to incorporate digital technology, streamline everything, and we will move away from things that maybe are out of our comfort zone but will be beneficial going forward. Now, most of us, or many teachers, I should say, okay, are used to the common, paper and pencil assignments, large orders from the graphics department, and students usually work, on worksheets, or even if they're in groups, they're working on some type of like paper and pencil assignment, and sometimes it's like whole packets or things of that nature. And the problem with this is the mass amount of waste that is going on with regards to paper and money, because every time that we go with these types of assignments and we're just utilizing paper, the students often end up just throwing them out at the end of the day or the end of the quarter. One of the common questions you'll get asked by students is, do I need to keep this? Okay. And they're basically asking, do I have permission to throw it out and get it out of my binder and things like that? And it's just needless waste. Okay. So one of the things that utilizing Google Chromebooks is going to help us with is our paper budget. Now, we currently utilize Boise paper, which is about $30.99 a box, okay, plus tax. Now, according to the graphics department that I've talked with at our school, the average is we're going through around 10 of these boxes per week, and that's not even including the different types of colors that we have for the paper, such as pink, green, blue, yellow, things of that nature. So if we're going through about 10 boxes of this, before tax, we're looking at around $310 just for the regular standard computer paper, and then we're cranking it up close to $600 a week. So our paper budget is really massive, and that's money that could be better utilized going somewhere else. So I know many teachers are territorial, and getting out of your comfort zone is not always easy, but that doesn't mean that this cannot be done. Okay, so we're used to many teachers teaching a certain way, and we do this because we've always done it. Well, just because we always have done it doesn't mean it's not incredibly stupid, like our poor guy bull running from the bulls here. So one of the ways that the Chromebooks can help us out is through one, cutting down on our paper budget, and we can utilize our programs that we already invest in as a school, such as Turnitin.com, where students can submit paperwork online and it's already checked for plagiarism and things of that nature. But the Chromebook is also starting to, at least according to several sources, replace the iPad in classrooms. Now, iPads are tremendous. Okay, they're absolutely wonderful. But in terms of actually writing a paper or anything like that, then the iPad isn't so great. Because yes, it has a keyboard, but many of us are just used to actually punching in the keys when we're doing word processing and things of that nature. So an iPad's good for looking at things, but for producing materials, it's not the ideal. And Google Chromebooks have actually started to beat out the iPad, and education magazines, as well as newspapers, are starting to take notice, as I found several articles about this. So the Chromebook is not like your standard laptop. Okay, I mean, it looks like your standard laptop, but in terms of hardware, this does not have much. But that's okay. So it's not going to have much in the way of a hard drive, but the beauty of Google is that you can save most of your work online and you don't have to worry about that. And Google is also wonderful because of all the apps that it has on its system. Okay, whether we're talking about Gmail, all right, or Google Calendar or Google Chat, things of that nature. Pretty much everything that you would usually do in your classroom can be converted digitally to put onto Google Apps. And your students can access it, they can work and save their information essentially in the cloud. And even though the Chromebooks don't have much in the way of a hard drive space, they don't really need it either. Okay. So, Chromebooks and the apps, okay, are very, very helpful. The nice thing about Chromebooks too is they have a very fast startup, okay, and they also have a long battery life. Now, one of the problems that currently we face at our school is our computer labs, our technology is outdated. And the issue with the computer labs is I've taken my students down to the labs before, and I've attempted to just do government assignments with them and websites that I found useful. But our computers are so slow that you end up wasting half the period almost just trying to get them to log on to the computers. And once they finally do log on to the computers, some of them shut down, okay, because too many people are trying to get onto the system at once and it overloads it. Example, in one of my government classes, I tried to teach them a very simple gerrymandering activity, how redrawing congressional district lines can basically rig an election for one political party. So I was trying to show them how the process worked. And this was a very simple game. All right, we're not talking ridiculous graphics or anything like that, but 30 students who tried to log on to computers at once weren't able to do it. And we sat there for about 15 going on 20 minutes waiting for everyone's computers to load up so we can move on. And that's just time that is completely wasted. A Chromebook fires up instantaneously and you're ready to go onto the internet and it's much better for time management. An example.
Introducing Chromebooks for Education, a simple way to bring the power of the web into the classroom, manage school-wide sets of hardware, and keep students focused. For instance, Chromebooks leave more time for teaching by booting up in just 8 seconds. That's less time than it takes to make a paper airplane. Even after entering sleep mode, they resume working immediately. And unlike most notebook computers, Chromebooks have a battery that lasts up to 8 hours. So even at the end of a long school day, they're still going strong. Built-in Wi-Fi and optional 3G allow Chromebooks to connect to the web anytime, anywhere.
Now, we can house these computers within the individual classrooms by buying the cart that goes with them, but some school districts have already converted to Chromebooks and seen achievement in the classroom with regards to test scores and things of that nature. So, with regards to schools transitioning, this is not an impossible thing that we're looking at here, and these computers are actually affordable. One of the nice things about the Chromebooks is that you can have it both ways, where the teacher is still the center of the classroom, okay, and is giving information to the students, but then you can change up your classroom on certain days or altogether entirely if you want, where the teacher just becomes a facilitator. And one of the problems that we run into in education is where everything is teacher centered. Okay, it doesn't give much of a chance for the students to be creative or voice their opinions because the teacher is just providing everything for them. Well, with the Chromebooks, it allows them to link together and they can actually work on assignments together. They can peer edit assignments and go on web quests and things of that nature. And the nice thing about it is the teacher is kind of facilitating and making sure the students are obviously staying on task and things like that, but they're being put in charge of their own education and using the apps, okay, through, Google also owns YouTube, so they have a plethora of visuals that you can provide them as well. And the Chromebooks do have features so you can firewall certain sites and things of that nature, so in case you're worried about the students going places that they shouldn't be. Now, this is how your standard Google Chromebook would look with regards to the desktop. Okay, um, this wouldn't be the ones we would actually have on our computers if we got them. Of course, we wouldn't be including Angry Birds, but the the Chromebook, okay, utilizes Google Chrome's internet browser, and through that you can basically go anywhere, okay? And any assignments that you have, you can incorporate into your website. So the students are doing this things that you would have normally worked on with packets of paper and things like that. Now it can all be digital, and you can incorporate more students into the learning process because they can work together on some of these things. So the Chromebooks are reasonably priced. A standard Apple MacBook, you're looking at over $1,000 for the cheapest ones that they have. Okay, now with the Chromebooks, you're not getting the power of a MacBook. You're not getting the power of a Sony Vaio or anything like that either. But the nice thing about the Chromebook is that it's reasonably priced, and we already went over that most of this information can be saved online through the cloud. Okay, so one of the ones that I think would be good for our school would be this Samsung Chromebook, which has good reviews. It is $250 retail. Okay, so with that $250, you are basically saving paper, making the educational experience better for the student, and allowing them, to basically be put in charge in some cases of their own education. Now, when they create, it can be more beneficial instead of just the teacher just supplying all of the information. So, currently, our AP Government program needs new textbooks. The current book that is being used by the AP Government program is from 2002. Now, obviously, some important things have happened since 2002 with regards to the United States government, so therefore it is time to get a new textbook. But new textbooks, okay, especially that cover the 2012 election, are going to run, at least according to Amazon, $175 for a new book. Okay, so let's just for the sake of argument say it's over $100. Let's say $120 perhaps for a brand new AP Government textbook that we would need. Well, a Google Chromebook we could get for $250. Okay, so for basically the price of two of these books, we could get one Chromebook. And there's so many internet sources that are available that we could use to enhance the educational experience that are already out there, that we wouldn't even need a textbook anymore, really. We could just do the whole thing digitally. Using sharing settings, okay, where students can peer edit, okay, assignments, and they all have, a part to play in assignments that are given out by the teacher. It really changes the educational experience for them. So, for example, utilizing Google Apps on my own website, okay, students can see exactly what we did that day in class. Example, I clicked on a day here, so if they missed a day in class, they can see exactly what we went over. This day in particular was about the 1980s, and we researched Ronald Reagan and how they have a future test coming up and that they need to get ready for it because the study guide is posted to my website. So utilizing Google Apps, okay, if we had Chromebooks or every day, I could essentially go paperless. My students could access my website, go to the U.S. History section where I've already got my my syllabus and everything posted for them in case parents want to look at it, and they could access whatever unit we were working on at the time and any notes or anything like that that we had gone over as a class are already posted to my website, and any assignments that we did as well are already listed up there. So it really just streamlines everything and makes it easier for students to get engaged in the educational process, because we're not also just relying on paper and pencils for everything, which can just be kind of a bummer sometimes. And so any assignments that we do, they can access through their Google Chromebooks. They could download it and they would have it right on their computer, and everything that they did, any work that they did, could be saved into the cloud, and they don't even need the hard drive. And the best part is it's all free. All of this is free, and it's just waiting to be utilized. We could be saving money, just tons of money if we implemented this in our classrooms, and if several teachers ended up trying to do this. So occasionally we have to step back in education and reevaluate how we do things and maybe look at it from a different perspective and realize that, okay, it can be done more efficiently, because we can always get better. And when we stop trying to get better, that's when we really run into problems, and that's when we, stop growing and just become stagnant. So I think this quote, okay, sums up utilizing our Chromebooks in classroom and changing it up a little bit, because occasionally we got to step back and look at things a little bit differently.
Why do I stand up here? Anybody?
To feel taller.
No. Thank you for playing, Mr. Dalton. I stand upon my desk to remind myself that we must constantly look at things in a different way. See, the world looks very different from up here. You don't believe me? Come see for yourselves. Come on. Come on. Just when you think you know something, you have to look at it in another way. Even though it may seem silly or wrong, you must try.
I agree. Okay, thank you for looking at my presentation and listening, and yeah, I will talk to you all later. Have a good day.